start.
Pre-show.
It's not a pre-show.
We're doing it anyways.
No, this is not a pre-show. This is going to be at the beginning because we were instructed that pre-shows are unnecessary.
Yeah.
So I guess we're just gonna start by introducing ourselves. This feels forced.
I don't like it.
Comment below if you don't like it because it's Isaac's idea.
Well, you know,
Blame him.
what was the pre-show? It was just us doing the podcast before the podcast started.
No, but the pre-show and my concept was that we're sort of easing in with no topic, just talking about like whatever, and
We
then
have a topic right now, pre-show.
we're one step ahead of the game.
You just exactly quoted my argument for what the pre-show was. What's your... Okay, so, this time, we have me. Hi, I'm Avery. We have... Don't screw up this time.
Hi, I'm Dylan. Casper.
We have my brother. We have my brother.
Ulysses.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
And I'm Isaac, who is currently in trouble for suggesting we shouldn't have a pre-show.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like that.
And other things, but we won't get to that yet.
okay.
What
But-
other things?
Comment below
I'm an
for Isaac's...
angel.
Comment below for Isaac's punishment. More
Oh.
creative ones, the better. Okay. So, unfortunately, we're eating our chips right now, sorry. Sponsor us, what is this time?
Ruffles.
Ruffles,
this,
sour cream, and onion.
this week, we should be sponsored by Ruffles, sour cream and onion. And,
Fanta.
Great Fanta.
Great Fanta.
I don't think that's.
See, Great Fanta's a lot better than the other ones, because the other ones, as we already saw, were clearly talking about how God was better than the rest of us. This one's just saying
Yeah.
God's better than grapes. Right?
Yeah.
Last time, I felt-
although leaf is more important than God.
yeah, the leaf is more important than God. That's what does that tell you? You guys are very progressive at Fanta.
Yeah.
Okay, so Isaac's gonna be bringing up the topics because I literally could not think of anything.
While
because
he's in the middle of that, do you want me to bring up the topic I brought up?
okay, no, not that one. Actually, first, let me at the very beginning. Finally, everybody is now in on it. So you may have been hearing clips and stuff, and you'll hear this in our other Mario Party thing. But finally, the Supreme Awesome Show network has been consolidated with everyone that we want it to be.
Yeah.
In the group. So we're gonna read out the whole list now. I'm gonna make sure I didn't forget anybody. All right.
Okay.
So this includes me, Blackthorn 4,
Mhm.
includes Dylan, Casper, includes my brother Yuli, TNT, includes Isaac, Nerd Times 2,
Yeah.
includes Ethan, Cradling, it includes Tim, who's just Tim,
Yeah.
it includes Jude, who's Jiglot, it includes
Denzel, who's Denzel.
well, it includes Daryl, who's Daryl, it includes,
DRL. Come on, guys.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
DRL.
it includes Donovan, who's Kyle,
Yep.
it includes
Z,
Z, who is Rachel,
and then Nick.
and Nick, who is Nick, and I feel...
Oh no,
Mel-
Nick is
and-
Gackle. Gackle, Melody, who's Princess of
and
Music.
Melody, who's Princess Music,
and Jordan, who's Creep King, because Jordan's gonna follow along anyways. I don't think we didn't actually talk to Jordan
we
specifically.
didn't talk to Jordan specifically, but I feel like we've gotten everybody else on board. If he doesn't join, he's gonna feel kind of left out.
Jordan was more likely to join than Nick.
Okay, well, anyway, so we finally got everything right. So I'm just gonna briefly go on what this means. Does this mean we are replacing the crew? Absolutely not. See,
stupid.
Dylan here had a
I'm
little bit
stupid.
of a problem while trying to explain it, and he got some people's jimmies very rustled. And they're all like, "My jimmies are rustled, Avery. Why would you rustle them?" And
I
I was
like
like,
it when you wrestled my jimmies.
and I was like, "I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to. I think maybe Dylan explained the wrong thing." And it turns out Dylan was like, "Yeah, we're gonna replace the crew and no." Okay, basically what's happening is that we are going to become a kind of hub channel. So what this is gonna mean is that sometimes we will have other people other than...
Whenever we do big group things, basically.
Yeah, big group things. We're going to try to include more people, make this more kind of community related. So you can just expect to see more than just me, Dylan,
Yeah.
and you. We'll just have more people
Like
coming in.
we actually intended to have Daryl on today's podcast, but he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I mean, then I intended to get Denzel, but he couldn't make it. Then I intended to get Melody, but she couldn't make it. So
Well, they are on the special podcast.
yeah,
which
but
I'm not sure whether it's coming out before or after this comes out. So
Welcome.
link to in description.
that's how it's gonna
It'll
work.
probably be linked like before or after this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, that's what it is. And as a network, we're not replacing the crew. The crew is still like the guys who play PvP and such.
Yeah.
It's basically just some of the people in the crew.
It's like-
are part of the
Like-
network. They'll just expect to see more of them here. That's basically what's changing.
From what I gather is that the Supreme Awesome Show is trying to get people to come into our show more because we don't have enough time to be able to get everyone together, but we still want to make that possible.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get people like Daryl and Z and Nick and those people into the show. And correct me if I'm wrong, but also in the sense of we're not replacing the crew, but we're trying to have a more unified version of This is
as
like
well.
this is like the elite.
No, it's not the no. Don't say elite because then you're making it sound like it's.
We're not the supreme.
This is simply the slightly I don't know, just more official. It's like people that we can contact and we know we can do things like
it's like
short
people we know
films,
more in real
songs.
life.
You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that, right? It's
It's
just,
people we know more in real life.
yeah.
Rather than like people who, for instance, Nick has a lot of friends from another server he went on that joined the crew in a sense. But
there's a whole bunch of people who, when I go on Skype to crew calls, I have no idea who they even are anymore. But that's fine, I suppose. But this is just more.
this is like
we're setting a border down.
Yeah.
We're saying that these are the people
okay.
who
So-
will contribute, and we
Basically,
will
the
contribute.
way
back
I
to
see
you.
it is that there's Canada, aka the crew, and then there's Ontario, which is Supreme Awesome Show.
I think there's more people. in
Or
crew
you could
than
say
just Canada.
Toronto, because that's kind of where we are. Well, most of us are.
No, but the concept for me was that like it's like not so much of where we are, but it's the concept of I give up. I give up.
Dylan explained it wrong again.
You'll see how it all folds out later on.
Basically, just don't worry. I'll leave your jimmies alone. Promise. Cross my heart and hope to fly.
He has a restraining order.
I mean, I'm sorry, you are restrained from within 5 yards of my jimmies at all times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to a topic.
Do you want me to bring up mine first while it's still in my head before I forget?
Yeah,
I
why not?
remember what it is.
Okay, then sure. Then go
No,
on.
you go ahead. Fine.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
I don't turn it
Is
into
this gonna become the passive show? No, it's okay. Go on.
Go on.
No, you do it.
Say your freaking subject. Both of them have food in their mouth.
I'm drinking Fanta. You can't shove it on me.
Okay. Superheroes we think are stupid, and not necessarily stupid as in they have bad power design or whatever, but stupid in general.
Oh.
Superman.
Yeah.
That was one that
That
we
was-
thought of already. That was sort of
Superman
Yeah.
is literally the worst superhero ever, but we'll save the end for him because he's gonna have his own rant. Go on other badly written superheroes.
One of them for me is like, oh, what was it? Dang it! Like, I wouldn't say Batman is a bad superhero, but he has like some qualities that I think is kind of iffy.
Why would you hate on Batman? He's like the sole light in the darkness that is DC.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. But like the one thing I don't like about Batman is that like he can
Where
be
you have so
really
much hate from
vulnerable.
DC fans.
He can be really
I
vulnerable.
don't care for DC hate. If they're DC, I don't want them watching this.
Marvel and Dark Horse for life. Am I right?
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up Batman is because he's really weak. I mean, Bane Bane is most famous for breaking his back. I mean, there's stronger in a sense superheroes out there. And that's basically what I want.
But strength isn't everything in a superhero. In
Yeah.
fact, what we literally we one of the projects we literally did in philosophy class was a reading that marked philosophy, and we were talking about proper ways of arguing, and it was arguing did the point perfectly that Batman is a better superhero than Superman, not just on the level that Superman sucks that we'll talk about earlier, but simply because Batman actually is brave. Superman is not brave because
that's
one
true.
who is invulnerable going into a gunfight and he's stopping.
have to worry
Don't
about
worry, citizens, I'll save you. He's not brave, right? Because Superman, even if they make him seem scared, the writers always pull something out of their ass to save him, right?
Yeah.
So really, at the end of the day, he's never brave.
That's
Batman is a
Yeah.
dude. He's a dude with Kevlar, but he's still a dude.
Well, it's the same thing with the Punisher in Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Punisher goes into all these heavy gunfights. His like Kevlar armor on his torso, but nothing covering his face.
That's true.
Like-
Okay. I revoke my comment then because
Okay.
I've
That-
clearly
like,
been bested.
That just makes him like a brave dude, like right away. Like he can be stabbed, and it's like, oh, that's actually a serious problem. It's not like, oh, don't worry, someone stabbed Superman, but the metal bent right off his chest. Don't worry, no problem, citizen. I don't know. That's it. My least favorite superhero is probably gonna be actually from the unknown, but I just think they're stupid. Not because of this is also slightly because of powers, but they're also just ridiculous. I don't know why Marvel decided to come up with this. They're called the Great Lakes Avengers, and they're consisted of Mr. Immortal, who cannot die. That is literally his power. He just can't die. All right, he can feel pain, but he can't die. Flat Man, who's like the poor man's Mr. Fantastic, who's really stretchy, but he's just flat. So he doesn't have any of the benefits of like the other amounts of stretchiness. He's just flat, so he can go under doorways and such like that. Okay, we have Doorman. This is literally, and they call him DM, who's literally a living portal. So if he steps in front of a door, you can move through him, and then it moves through the door. Wow. And then finally we have Big Bertha, who is a supermodel who can make herself very, very fat and very, very thin. That's the
Now-
Great Lakes Avengers. Poorly thought out,
See, here's the thing.
poorly executed, and they're
I
all
wholeheartedly
ridiculous.
agree with you, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and pretty much what they did was in the canon, they made the Avengers kind of like a brand.
Mhm.
So every state, every area has their own Avengers brand.
Yeah.
Their own branch. So when you're making Avengers for every state or every area in the United States, you are gonna come across some really shitty ideas for superheroes.
Salt Lake City, man.
What do? They make the life boring. Gray man. He turns everything gray. Sucks the life.
As he takes a drink to try to calm his nerves.
Sucks the enjoyment out of life. Anyways, I just think those guys, like, they suck. Like, at first, I thought those were the closest things I would get to Canadian superheroes in Marvel because it's Great Lakes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But then I found out Alpha Flight and was like,
You
wait.
didn't know about Alpha
I didn't
Flight?
know about. That was when I was way younger. I didn't know about Alpha Flight. I figured out about Alpha Flight, and then I was like, wow, we actually have some pretty kick-ass superheroes.
Yeah. No, Captain America's fucking great.
Yeah. No.
And
He's just like-
Sasquatch.
he's-
Sasquatch.
yeah.
You gotta love Sasquatch.
He's just like, I'm gonna psionically blow shit up. Like, okay, that's just how things are going to go.
Yeah, it's like I love the first issue of Alpha Flight. The cover, it's like all these superheroes like in a panic, and then like Alpha Flight just comes out. Don't worry, guys, we've got this.
And they have like this big maple leaf on them. We're just like, hell yeah.
Like this is a job for us. Like everyone's panicking. Like Spider-Man's like doesn't know what to do. Captain America is just like losing his shit.
Don't worry, Canada got this.
Oh, speaking of Spider-Man, am I allowed to point out the logic of how the Hulk is actually not as strong as Spider-Man?
Yeah, sure.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe you told me this in the
Yeah.
first place. Was that so Spider-Man because he's a teenager when he first gets his powers, and his powers grow or like they get
He
better.
gets stronger as
Yeah.
he gets older.
He gets stronger as he gets older. And the Hulk is do you remember? Okay, you should tell this better because I don't.
All right, the Hulk is absolute. He just gets really, really buff, and the only reason he's really strong is because apparently the radiation just gives him a heck of a lot of muscles. But that's what it is. Spider-Man has muscles that are regular size, but their strength is variant to his age and as he trains. So if you actually read upon some of the canon Spider-Man, there are many Spider-Man comics. This doesn't exist in all of them, but this exists, I'm pretty sure, in the main canon. As he gets like this older age, he's like literally rippling with strength and muscles.
Well,
and
he
just-
also continues to develop. That's the entire thing.
yeah, like his spider sense goes on further, and his mutation goes further, and he is literally stronger than the Hulk. Spider-Man's in fact stronger than most superheroes. It's just most of the comics, most of the canon of Spider-Man is him as when he's a teenager, so he's usually just him not knowing anything.
Yeah, and
It's
he
like,
has
I
to-
got kicked in the face. Ow, that
he has to
hurt.
figure out what he's doing as he's like going out and just like fighting people. He's learning in a sense as he goes
Yeah.
along, which is cool.
Like, there's a whole thing now that a lot of them bring out. In one Spider-Man comic in particular, everybody is suddenly getting spider powers, and like, there's anyone know Madame Web?
Oh,
She's like this like spider-themed person, but she's a prophecy and she's blind, and she like
Yeah.
brings together all these other Spider-Mans. Spider-Man, there's like Spider-Man family. It's almost like Green Lantern Corps, except it's all unofficial. It's just all these people who get Spider-Man
Or
powers.
also Superman's relatives.
Which he shouldn't have any. That's the first problem with Superman. He's the last one of a dying race.
First problem with Superman.
I love how you like fix your
First
voice.
problem.
At the end,
It still happens.
at the end of the day, Superman just is a problem. Like he is.
Yeah.
Like literally, I wish the Justice League was just Batman, because then I'd be like, yo, it's Batman and his Justice League of himself.
Superman problem.
Superman is Superman Trollface.
No, oh god damn, don't use memes. Don't just say memes.
You're gonna put something on screen, aren't you?
Never gonna give you up. We should
Alright,
roll people in this video.
Does anyone else have any other ideas? Of what the any terrible superheroes?
Terrible superheroes. Well, Yuli hasn't gone yet.
What's one you think is dumb?
I don't know many. All I know, Superman's bad. I don't know.
He's just poorly designed.
Well, it's because he's essentially made up by a whole bunch of writers who put him in different situations, and in order to compensate for those different situations that they try to be original, they make him overpowered. Like literally, there's cartoons, comics where he can withstand like 12 supernovas to the face, but it doesn't
really,
matter.
Like, it's hard to tell at first glance, but he really doesn't fit in, like, to most, like, good superheroes. Like, he's
Well, the thing is, he is one of the oldest superheroes, so you start with one vision of him, and then when another writer comes on, they add another superpower, and then another person adds another superpower, or a way that superpower can be manipulated to make it more powerful, and so he just keeps evolving and just spins out of control.
See, like, when Superman was originally created, he had the ability to jump over tall buildings, so he had very strong legs, he can jump. He can run really fast, and he's just super strong, right? And that makes sense. You can just have, like, a guy who's super strong, fast, and...
It's just their muscles are, like...
developed, like he's a strong guy, right?
Yeah, they're used to another climate, another environment.
Then they decided to redact it and make it so that he could fly. He was very, very strong, and he was very, very durable, and he had laser vision, and he had cold breath, and he had X-ray vision, and he has a whole bunch of other things. He knows like a bajillion martial arts or some. And then it learns out that he was actually halting his process because he didn't reveal his true DNA, and then his full DNA activates, and then suddenly he's even stronger, faster, and can fly faster, and that's just poorly thought out.
There's the Wonder Twins.
No. Form of a bucket, shape of a square.
Remember when
What is with DC?
Why did DC stick to your war comics and Batman comics? Literally scrap everything else.
Green Lantern has his moments. I kind of like the idea of the different cores.
Okay, well, those were cool, but those came along later, really.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, I'm sorry, like, I know Green Lantern has some promise to it, but I feel it was ruined by the fact that they made him that awful movie.
I didn't see it. It doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
They CG'd his mask on. How much money did you really save by CGing a mask? Like, seriously.
He probably didn't want a sweaty mask on his face.
He's a petty actor.
No. He's Canadian and it's great.
Because he's Canadian and he's great.
It's worse. I don't want to acknowledge it as Canadian because then it means he took part in something that was that awful. Canadians don't take part in awful things. We only take part in great things.
Yep.
That's just inherent.
Yep. Okay.
Except that many Canadians fought for the Confederate States in the Civil War.
I think it's gonna be funny.
And that we're making this podcast.
No, this podcast is a great thing.
It's gonna be funny when Rachel comes on and starts hating on us because we're like so like.
It hasn't been every podcast. There's been some joke towards the United States.
Yeah, I think that's inherent. That's another thing inherent about Canadians.
Oh yeah.
But come on, Americans inherently joke about anyone who's not American all the time. So I think we're allowed to have one scapegoat.
I'd like to say one more thing.
All right.
So remember the last podcast how we said, please do not write fan fiction.
Rachel, why did you do that?
Rachel,
why did you do that?
why did you do that, Rachel?
It came out yesterday.
She wrote a fan fiction about us. I'm not even kidding. She sent me a message about a fan fiction about us, and she wanted me to read it in the next podcast.
Rachel,
No, here's what we're doing. We're acting it out.
No. Rachel, why did you do that?
Rachel, why? No.
If you were here, I would give you a 5-minute ban, but you're not.
Okay, send it to me. I will read it in a sexy voice.
Isaac will do a dramatic reading of all your fanfics.
And then Avery went to Dylan, and they made out for like 10 hours.
You remember Avery broke up with me for you though? So,
Dylan, please get something to restrain these people. I don't know. Rachel, why did you do that?
I'm serious though. Send it to me. I will read it. It'll
No.
be great.
no.
Don't do that.
I'm not.
Don't do that.
I'm not.
Don't do
I'll
that.
post it on my channel.
Just no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, next topic.
Alright, what's one genre of music that people don't expect you to like, but you do? Like, For me, I don't look like the kind of guy who listens to rap music, but I love like old school hip hop and some current rap groups. It surprises a lot of people because I'm the kind of guy who, well, if you've seen any pictures of me or any videos of me, very cleanly dressed,
Very white.
very white, very polite.
White and polite. That should be your rapper name.
White and polite. First impressions are usually I'm a quiet person. Not. I listen to a lot of classical music and a lot of jazz, so people think that's all I listen to. But I listen to a lot of rap as well. But I don't tell people, so it's always it weirds them out when I say I know about it.
I mean, not so much for me anymore, but when it first started being a thing, and I kind of, I established, at least in my audio production class, that I was the kind of guy who was into electronic music. People were kind of surprised when we were doing a music show, and I was like, okay, so I'm going to show you like a Jonathan Coulton song, just like a comedy, folk, rock, and then I go in extensively and I talk about I like actually a lot of comedy and folk stuff. Like, even despite the fact that we play dubstep on almost all of these songs, or some sort of electro or house music, I love Flight of the Conchords, love Jonathan Coulton, I love They Might Be Giants.
Yeah.
All these guys, great. They make me laugh so much. I don't know. At the end of the day, I love dubstep, but I just love what acoustic guitars can do at the end of the day. Which is a wonderful sound.
For me, before it became apparent to a lot of people to know, people did never expect me to listen to country music. But in grade 10, before when I first started listening to country music, and I was actually enjoying it a lot. I was listening to it, and then someone that sat behind me was like, "So what kind of music do you listen to?" I'm like, "Country." She's like, "Wait, really?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Because nobody listens to country, that's why they're surprised.
Well, for me, it's one of those genres I can really listen to a lot of. So, but for me, I don't have a specific genre I like to listen to. So, it depends on mood or day or whatever. So yeah. What about you?
I think the fact that I listen to basically every single genre is the only thing that surprises people, because there's no genre that I don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends when I'm in the mood for whatever. Usually I don't really care. It just depends the song.
Yeah,
Play a song.
You can see his
shuffle.
MP3 player is
I know.
literally stuffed with how many songs on it? I know. He has video game soundtracks, Mario video game soundtracks, the Portal video game soundtracks. He has movie soundtracks. He has
The Portal 2
rock.
soundtrack is 3 albums.
It's fantastic though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah. Well, that's the only video.
Because my dad, when I wasn't looking, obviously, put songs and he likes in it. So now there's random songs in it that I don't even know.
But you're still listening to them because they're there, and you're too lazy to hit the next button.
Well, most of them are really bad. So.
Good thing his dad isn't here right now.
Can't hate on an entire genre, I suppose.
No, I've told some friends I don't like certain genres, but one friend of mine, he's a very nice guy, but he'll constantly try egg me on hey, so listen to this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand it, I can appreciate it. I just don't see myself listening to it. There are still genres that as much as I love music of every kind,
Yeah.
there are still some genres and subgenres I can't listen to on my own. I'll listen to it if someone's playing it for me,
Yeah.
and I'll appreciate it, but I won't go and get it myself.
Yeah, so you think one of those for me, just certainly don't hate, is but when you get to heavy metal or grindcore and it's just people screaming, there is because I know somebody who does that in our advanced audio, and it's I can appreciate what he's doing. In fact, some of them are actually kind of funny. One of them he did was this scientific thing where he's just stating all these scientific terms, but you can't really tell because he's screaming them. And he's really good on a guitar, and it takes him a long time to make them. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate his style. I wouldn't listen to it, but I appreciate it, right? If you try to appreciate all music that you're given,
Then
you're gonna be a happy person.
for me, I guess one of them would be either that or it would be some rap music, because yes, I do appreciate a lot of rap, but there's some rap songs I'm just why? Some of them that I remember this one. I'm not sure if this is actual rap because it never played it to me specifically, but this one guy came into 4th period after lunch class singing "I Just Had Sex."
You don't know that one?
I don't know that. I don't know that
It's by the
song.
Lonely Island. It's a comedy song.
But I just hear him singing this. I'm like, why?
No, that's the Lonely
And-
Island. The Lonely Island is excused.
Yeah, it's a comedy group.
Okay.
They're the ones who made This Is the Tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Also, Dick in a Box. Do you know Dick in a Box?
No, I'm.
What? You don't know Dick in a Box?
They're all rude, but they're all joke
Joke
songs.
songs.
Yeah.
It's all comedic, right?
It's
Yeah,
all
but
making fun of those
people
genres.
who do that.
Yeah, but there are some like some like songs that are like rude, but they're not jokingly rude.
Yeah.
I don't like those. Like I can't get into a song that's like.
Well, see, I think there's a big thing in rap, right? I appreciate poetry as well. I like poetry. I even write some. But so a lot of rap, when you get to it, in fact, people who did I'm Cool Like That, Diggable Planets, they have a lot, like their entire album, nobody else listens to it. But it's after some nice stuff, right? And that kind of old style rap, it's really nice because either they're talking about stuff, but they're lyrically speaking or rapping to the beat, and it's really nice, right? But when people just, put in random and unnecessary amounts of swears just to fill it in, you know that they didn't put enough time, and it's not really a poem that you're listening to anymore. It's just someone saying,
Shit.
yeah, like
That's not what they say.
What?
There's another word they say.
there's a whole bunch of a slew of words they say, but it kind of ruins it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
one of them
that's why I
for
like Watsky so much, right? Because you can he's
He'll
speaking
swear
stuff.
occasionally,
He'll swear
but he
occasionally, but
has
it's-
his spoken word moments, and some songs are just so beautiful.
It's tasteful, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always at the end of the day, there's always time for swearing, and then there's always time for not swearing.
One of
And
the
if you use it too much in a rap song, it looks like you didn't think it through, and that you couldn't think of any words to make
Yeah.
sense, so you just added those in.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. Please don't hate for me for saying this, but "Power" by Kanye West was in Saints Row 3, and initially when I first started listening to it, it was catchy and it got stuck in my head. But then when I actually went to look at the lyrics, it's like he rhymes shit with shit. Good job, Kanye West.
People love Kanye West because he's very inventive in what he does. In some,
I know,
some of the pieces
like I love the whole theme of his of the song "Power," which is basically like power, that whole concept of it. But like, if he's like, I feel like some of the lyrics could have been better.
Oh, he's a
chosen.
pop artist, so you have to give
Yeah,
him slack for
that's
that,
the
right?
other thing.
Pop artists, you can. I find for me personally, you can only ever half love a pop artist unless you're like really one of the gullible masses. No offense to the gullible masses, but
Oh my God, Justin Bieber!
but like, see, like there's certain like pop artists I can only ever half appreciate because at a certain point, pop artists have to tread the fine line between having their own independent touch to it, but then having to conform to the overall pop structure, and that's when it's hard because Kanye West is like pop rap.
Yeah.
Right? He's popular rap. It's not actual rap. It's rap that is what the general music society wants you to think is all rap.
That's the thing, though. He has some songs that are like that, but he has many songs where he's inventive in how he produces it.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrics are a lot more meaningful. Occasionally, though, he does have his pop hits.
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons that one was so apparent was because of Saints Row 3, and that's.
Well, I don't think that was the main reason.
Well, that's the main reason.
I don't think his crowd listen, like the people who usually buy his albums listen to play
Watch
Saints Row 3.
Saints Row 3.
Words. No, it's and then sometimes.
Are you implying that Saints Row 3 is too intelligent? For
I'm saying that
audience, because I think that's a terrible thing to say.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying I don't think.
Do we have to ban you?
I don't think a lot of people who listen to Kanye West or Jay-Z or that crowd would play Saints Row 3. It's too silly a game.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
that's
also
how me and a few
Saints Row
friends
3
talked, that's
is almost entirely a parody.
It's
like
a joke.
Yeah.
It's making fun of GTA. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah. Usually the people who would buy Kanye West's albums, they would play GTA. They wouldn't play Saints Row 3.
Yeah, GTA is what people think, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna seriously steal that car. And Saints Row 3, you're just like, hey, I'm gonna break this car with a dildo. Because it's funny, right? Because you're joking at it. Because you recognize how ridiculous the situation is. In most cases, you're running around as this giant fat guy with a huge beard, wearing a bra with a teddy bear backpack. Because,
I guess you
because
could
you
take it
can.
seriously if you want to, but no
like,
one does.
actually,
Why would you?
Another game that's also really good like that. It's actually an MMO. It's called APB Reloaded, and a few of the
heard
guys
of
who
that, yeah.
started playing on that, and it's really cool.
Okay, so we're pretty much done
Yeah,
on
next
yeah,
topic.
let's go on to that. Okay, so school is over. I'm guessing for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
for us,
today was my
not
last
for
exam.
you.
Well, like in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, today was
So-
my last exam, so.
School is out
For
for
summer.
summer. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
School.
Let's stop singing before we get in legal trouble.
Like I don't have class anymore. I just do random stuff all day. Like today, I went to Bolorama. Like they
Good
just
school day well spent.
we just do whatever we want for like a week now.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. See, there's that kind of end of school that you can get in middle school and elementary where literally the curriculum has stopped, but you have like a week, 2 weeks left.
Just
Where
to
the
chill.
teachers will literally just say, hey, you know what? You have this whole school
Let's
day.
schedule a field trip.
Yeah, field trips. This is when when field trips are done, parties are done, full computer lab or library time is done, where they literally just like say, go ahead, do whatever. You can read, you can do anything.
Although in
Yeah,
high
we
school
all-
we get exams.
exams, but the thing is that my exams are done, and in that in between time for exams, I'm not studying. Like right now, I still have basically the rest of the week, which is still school time. There's no actual classes, so you can't go down there and have parties. So it's
You're
kind
ju- you're
I
just
feel-
sort
I
of
feel
at
in early
home.
Summer, you just gotta get it at home and waste your time watching
Yeah.
Mario Kart videos.
Yeah, like
Like you didn't do that today,
Or,
right?
Mario Party videos where some people talk over it.
Yes,
with
like
poor
yeah.
quality.
If you go to Kyle Castor's channel and you watch the first part of the Mario Party, because I'm hoping that the second part will be uploaded right now as we're talking about this. Watch it like Mario Party has been uploaded now.
Yeah, but we're not even on the YouTube page. But it was just like what audio heads up. Mario Party has been uploaded. Thank you for using heads up display.
Yes, exactly. So what was your topic exactly? Because we never
Well,
got you to finish the sentence.
It's the end of school. Like, how do we
Yeah.
feel about that? We're going into grade 12. That's a little weird.
Oh my god. Don't even get me
well,
started.
Yuli isn't going into grade 12. He's going into.
I'm using the royal we. It's a majority of the people at this table are going into grade 12.
Well, see, for me, that's a big thing because I had a big bunch of grade 12 friends last year, and they kind of scared the crap out of me for a lot of it because it's like, man, I have so much work right now. I'm taking all my English and my math. There's no time for anything. I gotta do all these essays and tests on the same day, and I'm just like, oh my god, what is happening? So that's kind of scary, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I've already had a grade 12 course, writer's craft,
I'm
and
taking that next year. I'm
I've
so
already had
excited.
I'm not talking about grade 12 courses. I've already taken those. In fact, most grade 11 students take grade 12 courses.
I know.
Not at my school.
Yeah, at my school, a lot of them did. But I just noticed that like there is like a more of a hardcore sense to it. Like the jump from grade 11 English to grade 12 writer's craft was pretty big for me. So I'm like, oh, well, now I gotta fight for that 80.
Yeah, no, I took I took 3 grade 12 courses this year. I took philosophy, which is grade 12. I took like a medical science, which was grade 12.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy though. And I took what was another grade 12 course? I took another grade 12 course.
I took another grade 12
I
course.
can't
Just
remember
Jesse
what-
on this.
I can't remember what it is, but it was something else that was
Like,
not too.
I'm
hard.
taking philosophy next year. I'm taking writer's craft next year. I'm so excited for those courses. I actually like the best thing about grade 12, especially at my school.
Yeah.
You can tailor your courses because I'm allowed to have so many arts. It's an art school I go to, so they encourage you to take as many arts as possible. They still encourage you to take your humanities and your Englishes and your maths
Yeah.
and sciences, but because they have so many arts courses to offer, I can just take as many as I want. So I have 3 music courses and 1 photography course next year.
Nice.
So pretty much I have a full day of music and like of art and another day of like writing. It's great. I'm just so excited.
That sounds awesome.
For me, I'm in the cyber program at my school, and the reason that I'm not looking forward to it is because we only had like 2 options of all in grade 12, and the rest of it's basically like you have to do this class, and this class, and this class, and this class, and do your co-op second semester. I'm just like,
Oh, that's funny because most grade 12 is usually a lot more open, right?
yeah, but because I'm in cyber arts, they basically pick half the courses for you.
Oh.
And also they're trying to line me up with this great co-op for second semester, but that means I have to take 5 courses first semester. That's gonna be hard. And if I don't get that in my timetable, I'm screwed. Like I have to take another semester basically. So it's like.
5th year isn't that bad. In fact, I might even
I'm,
stay for 5th year.
I'm definitely taking a 5th year.
But the problem is that we might have to pay for it.
Might have to. That hasn't been decided yet.
They haven't decided that, and I think we're the cutoff year for not being able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's next. Yeah. See, yeah. once again, our lovely Canadian government has thought.
Wrong board.
Ontario represent.
To represent
Wrong
that
board.
No,
we
Dalton McGinty.
Dalton McGinty, we have believed that it is that when students stay for a 5th year in high school, they are draining on our resources and tax money, so they must start to pay for that extra school year they're going. The government is not responsible for the fact that they would wish to take another year of public education. They have to either move on to university, or they gotta get the hell out. I'm gonna say that right now.
So that's like the same thing. Either move out somewhere else, like move to another school,
Or get out of Canada.
move out of the school, move out of school altogether.
You know what? Just get out. That's basically
Just
what's
get
going
out of
to.
Canada.
So
Just get out of
that really sucks for us. I think our 5th year will still be free.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, literally, where did that idea come from? We have no money, so we have to start taxing things or making them pay.
No one wants to pay taxes. That's the thing.
Pay for high school. What the hell?
No,
Sorry.
It's
Like the thing that
It's the idea that like, oh, I don't use it, so maybe why do I have to pay for it? Let make them pay for it. See, not everyone uses roads, but you still pay for the infrastructure. You still pay for all the
'Cause
infrastructure.
at the end of the day, even if you don't use a road,
It's
the
helping
roads
you.
are helping you because the food that you eat most likely comes in on those roads. The
Yeah.
people that you meet come in on those roads. You will be isolated and dead
the
without those
argument
roads.
I have is that there's people who have like they're not necessarily failing courses, and that's why they need to take a 5th year, but they're taking it because they want to, and they want to make sure they know the right path before they go off to college or university.
That's what
and
I'm
start
gonna be
blowing
doing it
tons
for.
of
yeah.
money.
I'm doing it so that I can take more music courses and get more
How
practicing
many
in.
years can you take at high school? Extra years.
5.
You can take
No,
5 extra.
No, you can only take 1 extra year.
Uh-huh.
Man, I wish we could take more because there's one guy at my school who just finished his 5th year, and he is the nicest guy you will ever meet, as well as he is probably the best bass singer in our school, and he is like the leader of the men's choir.
Oh,
Like 3 people are gonna have to do the job that just he did.
oh,
That sucks.
Yeah.
that's gonna be tough.
It's
We're
promising
like,
for.
take a 6th year. Can you please take a 6th year? And he's like, no, guys, I have to go to university. I'm like, well, follow the stars. He laughed because he's actually going into astronomy for university. So
That's cool.
But he's probably gonna be in like the college or university choir.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like he said,
I know.
definitely taking the
We
choir.
actually have a friend who's in university in the States, and he's in the choir. He's a bass. So,
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Daniel.
Shouts out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got anything to say? I mean, you're going to grade 8, so.
Yeah, well, basically the only thing I'm worried about is the lockers, because we get the lockers that they have now, and
Oh,
they're
God.
all broken. They're bigger, but they're all broken. Like, all the doors are like falling off because they only have like 1 hinge each.
Am I allowed to bring up the locker story at Spectrum?
One
Yeah.
locker story.
With Riley, or was it Riley or Marco who had the
Riley.
maggots? Okay, Riley had
Oh.
maggots in his locker, and I feel really bad for whoever got his locker afterwards. His locker was filled with garbage, and like
Food from lunches, and there were maggots there.
it
That was not a fun locker cleanout day.
Oh, I think we had like 4 people helping him out to clean out his locker.
With
It was
gloves.
kind of hilarious. Like I was like cleaning out mine. I have some papers at the bottom, some papers in one shelf. I'm just like cleaning it up, putting it in the trash, and I hear like 4 girls just like, "Oh my god, what is that?"
And I'm like a few lockers over from him. And I'm just like, what's that smell? And then you look over and you just see Riley's locker
Oh,
like.
sorry, 3 girls and Dylan.
No, actually, it was 4 girls. I would like to point out that
So you're
also.
right, 4 girls, including Dylan.
No, I like to point out that Stella, Tegan, Emma, and Simone were all over there.
Shouts out.
Yeah.
Shouts out to people who, again, I will not be posting this on Facebook because I'm friends with most of you.
Will you be posting this on Facebook?
No,
I'll post it on
I've
Facebook.
been meaning to post these podcasts on Facebook, but I'm like, oh, he mentioned someone. I'm not sure if they want to be mentioned. Next week, maybe.
Next week. Oh well.
I'm gonna post.
I
on
guess they'll be
Facebook.
popular
ahead.
on the internet.
Yeah. So
All of our 716
Yeah.
subscribers.
actually 718 because
Yeah.
I was checked today.
Yeah, I checked today as well.
2 more. Welcome.
Wait, for Yuli, are you worried about high school? Like, are you worried about making that transition at all? or
No.
You're just
no.
like, I got this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be. I mean, Yuli will explain this better, but his middle school is hard. Like, I mean, like, tops kind of hard. Like, not educational, but like literally, you can explain it better. But explain how hard your middle school is. Like, this is not Spectrum Lax. We're talking about Delta. And that's why they sucked at volleyball. Remember the volleyball thing?
Yeah.
It's first place was Horizon, second place Spectrum got the most, and then Delta won 20 years ago. You know why? Because they had a hard school. You can explain.
Well, we do this whole contract system thing. When I first heard that, I didn't want to join, but it was really the only school that I open house that I went to, so I just went there. But you have to sign this contract. It's like a contract agreement, but it's weird because you have to agree to doing this contract, but it's a contract. I don't know. It's weird.
Contract.
Basically, there's 1 week after contract, and the contract lasts for a little over a month, and you have to do a whole bunch of stuff by the end, and then at the last day of the contract, it's contract due date, but that is the most hectic day at school ever, because you get a sheet of paper, and then you go out in the narrow hallways and just you have to dash and to go in a line to see the teachers so they can give you your marks, but it's really
So it sounds. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like a semester every month.
They're assigned essentially. You have to do all of these projects by the end of it. They essentially tell you all your projects at the beginning of it, and then by the end of it, you have to get them all done.
I can see Daryl failing every single class. He likes to procrastinate on TF2, so.
That's why my friend. Sorry, just to review minorly. My friend who is moving on to PC gaming because he knows because after he heard about Xbox One, he's not using that anymore. He's going to be on PC gaming. I told him, look, if you don't want to get addicted to stuff like MMOs and things, this is an MMO, but don't get addicted to it. I have never downloaded or played TF2 for a reason. For a reason.
Yeah.
Every waking hour, someone I know is on TF2.
Same.
Same.
TF2, gosh darn you.
It rhymes.
It's a poet, but I know it.
And I know it. It would be the proper way.
Yeah, you're not the...
I like grammar and the hammer.
Okay.
Continue. Anyways, yeah.
And all the students that used to be at Delta that are past high school now, they say that high school, when they come back to visit, they would tell all the teachers that Delta is 1 billion times harder than high school.
So it's essentially, he's going to flag through grade 9 and 10, maybe even 11. Grade 12 will be the only time that he's just adequately prepared for. Essentially, that's what's going to happen.
Well, for Spectrum, I know I breezed through grade 9 way too easily.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I changed
French.
schools. That's why I changed schools, because literally grade 9, I worked on what I thought was necessary. Have I ever mentioned good old math teacher? I mean, I know you've told you the story, but on this podcast, have I talked about it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I have this math teacher in grade 9. And I'm not going to mention her name, but...
if she watches this, it's going to be really sad.
I just don't want to... But you can always go on, rate your teacher stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can just... I don't want to do that. But anyways, so she hated us all because, once again, I think she's a mathematician. She's not a math teacher, right? There's a difference. Like in elementary class, we had a musician come in to teach us. Like clarinet, you know when you taught clarinet? Except he plays music. He's not a teacher. He would get pissed at you if you did hey, you got that note wrong on the clarinet. You're not ready for this magic. Just look. Anyways, so she would always try to catch a jump on me because I never did the homework. All right, because I knew all of this. I learned all of this in middle school, so I never did the homework. I never paid too much attention to class. I was always talking to people, and then whenever someone else in class had a problem, because she spoke with an accent, people didn't understand her, and she taught very hard, so people always asked me for help. So she was starting to resent me because I was essentially took the power position in her class.
That happened to me in grade 10, only with a guy, and he at the beginning of the year he had a beard and mustache, and then he shaved the beard off and he just had a mustache, and Mr. Tahiri was his name. I don't have no...
You've mentioned him
no,
before on the podcast.
I have?
Yeah, you have.
Okay. Well, basically, I did the same thing. Only I was also doing bad in his class, so he thought that I was teaching everyone in the class to do bad or something. But then, like, everyone's mark dropped at least 30% when they went into his class, unless they taught themselves, in which case they got 80s. So
Yeah, no, see, unlike that, I was actually doing really good. Alright, so what she would always do, she would always try to catch me, trip me up. So she would always, at the beginning, she'd always give a problem on the board. She's like, ooh, I had a problem on the board. Anyone want to solve it? Avery, get up here. And so I'd always have to solve it because you'd always think, he's not doing his homework, he's not paying attention to class, I'm gonna get him someday. I always solved it, and she always stared at me like, with that, like, gritted back teeth, good job, Avery. And, you know, or one time when she asked me to come up to explain something, I started explaining something, but then she interrupted me to kind of re-explain what I was saying. But then one person in my class said, and I was really upset because he really could have got me in trouble, he says, quiet, teacher's name here, Avery is teaching. And can you understand how much that makes a teacher irate? It's like, sorry, I value this kid over you. That's how much the entire class finished.
But
Yeah. So at parent-teacher interviews when my parents came, she was always like, Avery's doing well. She can't say anything bad about me because I'm awesome and I was doing all my work right. But she hated my guts.
it's
Oh my
funny
God.
because I basically did that again, like now. Only this time I'm actually doing good in the class. So I didn't do any homework in grade 11 math, but my teacher has an accent. She's actually a really good teacher. She's a mathematician. She has a university degree or whatever, and she's actually a really good
You
teacher.
have to have a degree in
Yeah,
math
you have
teach
to have
math.
I know, but she's still like, I think it's a PhD or something.
oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was a PhD. I didn't want to say that just to be careful. I wasn't.
Yeah, no,
make
see,
mistake
like one of
myself.
the things is that there's actually, even though we have a lot of teachers right now in the job industry, actually there's a shortage on math teachers because everyone just gets an English degree and therefore you can teach English and a lot of other courses. Math, you need to have a math degree. You can't just teach it
Yeah.
directly. So, yeah. But a PhD is impressive.
Yeah, and she's actually a really good teacher. Like, she's freaking amazing. And I don't do any math homework in her class, but I was getting a 90 until the exam today when I basically screwed that up. I blanked on the second page. I'm like, well, this is going to be a really long hour and a half.
You see, for me, with my math exam, now this is gonna be another reason I'm never gonna show this podcast to my mom. I was getting I was getting a 68 in math.
Yeah.
And then going into the exam, you drop that to just being 70% of my
Yeah.
my mark. It would be 47% rounded. So pretty much, I sat there for half the exam calculating what's the minimum I can get on this to pass the course. Pretty much, I need like a 12% on the exam, and I will pass the course. And my mom will kill me, but I will have the credit, and I will never have to take math again.
For me, it was the same, only I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to answer these questions. Now, how much can I get in the end?
Now, yeah, and I'm like, there are 3 questions I haven't answered here because I have no clue how to answer them. If I got 75% of the multiple choice right, then that means, and I got maybe 75% of the ones I didn't answer right, then I can get maybe, at best, a 70% on the exam.
Like,
You see what's funny? My math exam, which I did yesterday, it's out of 78, but out of all the questions I missed, I was like, yeah, mine's actually out of 55. Like, that's how much, like, I missed so many questions because, like, I could not finish.
Mine was out of 50. I had 58 out of 75, I'm guessing, because I actually calculated how much. Because when I do a math question and I know what I'm doing, I get it right.
Mhm.
Like, I don't get it wrong. Like, for instance, I had this one question where it was using a sine law and all that. I'm like, okay, I know what this question is. I'm going to get every mark in this question. I know for sure. So that I can count the full marks. And then I basically calculated it. I should have an 84 overall. I had a 90 in the majority of the class, and I was getting like hundreds and 90s on all the tests and quizzes, and I'm like, yeah. Then exam comes. Shit.
Yeah.
God damn it, I knew I forgot something. But I also had my writer's craft exam this morning, and that was...
There's an exam for that?
We had an exam, and basically what you had to do was apply a theory, and then do a poetry. You had to do a theory to a short story, and a poem analysis. For the theory for the short story, I was really worried about that because I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I brought up some cool points. I'm hoping I can get good on that because I was really worried about getting bad on that exam.
That's
'Cause-
kind of stupid. You usually don't have exams for, like, English courses.
We have exams for
I
English.
had one in December. Like, in December, my school's weird because because it's an art school, they want the arts to last all year. So it can't be a semestered school, but they want to treat it like it is. So you have your December exam period where every course has an exam, and then you have the end of school exam period where the sciences and the maths have their exam. Everyone else has just culminating activities.
Mhm.
So I finished my exam
Yeah,
yesterday.
that's sort of like what we did in grade 9. Our grade 9 was really weird. Our morning classes were semesters, but our afternoon were non-semestered.
That's really strange.
It's strange, but it was good. Like, that way you actually had 2 classes where you were there every day of the year, and it was nice, and you were comfortable with it. And then in the morning, you're like, okay, I have these classes for half the year and this class, and it eased you into the idea of semestered.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have all my classes for the entire year, which I just like a lot more. Just having a day 1, day 2, because it doesn't alternate because we have our Wednesday sessions. So
I have a day 1, day 2 as well.
it's really good because you don't gotta keep track. It's just
Yeah.
It's always it's interesting for me. For both years, I always have math last period Friday. I always hate that. Always have math last period
I
Friday.
had math
Except
last
what was
period.
nice is that I always got to wake up on Mondays with nice audio production, which means it was always a great way. Even though you had like the worst class to end off the week with, to start off, you would just ease in, put on some headphones. Our teacher would come up, show us some new indie artists. We'd listen to that, and we start getting to work. We talk about music structure. Best way to like ease out of a Monday morning. You know
It's
what I mean?
funny because my Monday morning this semester started with math, and it was good and bad. It was good because I didn't have to be on the 3rd floor in the afternoons, which means it's very hot there. But in the morning, it jolted me to an early start. Although I ended up playing DS half the time in that class. Yeah, whatever.
Anyway,
Next topic.
Yeah, next topic. So we can either go for serious or light again.
Let's go light because I
Light?
feel like you have to leave soon. So
No, half an hour.
okay.
No, let's see what can I do.
Okay, so we have comedy movies. Why do you like them, and what do you like from them?
Okay, comedy movies. Which comedy movies do I
just-
like?
We just saw
Um,
Hot Fuzz recently.
Hot
Oh, that's
Fuzz.
great.
Oh my gosh, that is
Best
an
movie
awesome.
After I watched it, best movie ever.
Yeah, he was reluctant to watch it at first, but
Well, because, like, my best friend just kept suggesting, it's like, you have to watch it. So then, I wasn't even the one who came up with the idea of watching it. But I watched it.
see, that's just an amazing movie. And I think what's funny, which is, I also have to point out, this is actually a good thing. I also saw recently The Missing Burt Wonderstone, which I thought was very funny at certain points. And I think what makes very comedy movies funny is when they make things on purpose. You can see this is a common theme in a lot of them. They show the tropes, the tropes that are used for whatever genre they are parodying, and they do that. But yet they still have, like, even though you think, you know, of course they gotta learn a lesson, they still give you at some points, you know, the feels or, you know, the nice part, like the moral, right? Like, it's not too ridiculous, but at some points they can always chill things out, and then at some points they can just make you laugh your ass off. Like,
See, the reason I love those Nick Frost, Simon Pegg movies, like Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, all brilliant comedies because they're all really good social critiques as well.
mm-hmm.
Like Shaun of the Dead is a critique on this urban, suburban way of life, kind of this mundane activity day by day. Eventually, everyone turns into zombies, and you don't notice until someone attacks you.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually, like, it's really smart how they did that. Hot Fuzz as well, this kind of eerie sense of community that's not
Yeah.
found anymore. There's got to be something wrong if everyone's this close.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then I recently saw This Is the End. Anyone know that one?
I've seen, like, literally there have been those YouTube ads where they have, like, all of them saying, "Don't click the stop button, we'll do anything you want." And then I always click the skip ad button because I'm an asshole.
Oh no, it's so funny though. It's great because they make fun of themselves
Mhm.
as well as Hollywood and all the different tropes of different movies. So it follows like the same arc as any other apocalypse movie, but they have their own twist on it because it's Seth Rogen playing Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill playing Jonah Hill, James Franco playing James Franco.
if you have a lineup like that, it's got to be pretty
Like,
good.
and then
And it's them as themselves, which makes it
Michael
even better.
Cera's in it, and he's like on coke all the time. Like, it's so funny. And then like near the end, they during like this dramatic moment, they start playing and I will always love you. Like, just like when it's like really dramatic, just because. Why not? Like, that's what everyone does in those like dramatic moments. Like, no, I'm gonna lose you. You got to play that song.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's the thing for me. For someone to make me laugh like pretty hysterically, it would have to be either something really stupid or it has to be it has to have levity. Because if it's levity, basically means, for people who don't fully understand what that means, it's when you have something funny in a very serious situation. And
Also, you can also do the juxtaposition, which is easier for people to understand.
I don't even. I learned levity before I learned that. That's why.
Juxtaposition is a beginner's word. I can't believe you didn't know that. What's wrong with you?
I'm just that advanced. Anyway, so I like
beginner because I'm intermediate.
Skip beginner because you're intermediate, but I'm advanced.
Yeah, well, I still skipped beginner.
That's like those people who always say, "Have you ever skipped a grade?" They're like, "Yeah, I skipped kindergarten." It's like, dude, that's nothing to be proud of. It's like, yeah, I didn't need to learn circle squares and 1 + 1. What? Like, it's like, seriously, man. If you said like you skipped grade 6, okay, cool. You skipped grade 8, fine. You skipped JK, not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I don't gotta learn my ABCs.
You're like, oh, your parents taught you the alphabet when you were an infant. Go ahead. Great.
Like, that's
Good on you.
like,
although you're gonna be alone and you're gonna die
you're
alone.
clearly a very skilled person. I can tell you that right now.
But yeah, I like levity basically because it's like someone like calls someone a stupid name, or it's just like, yes, you're an asshole in the middle of like a serious situation. It makes me
Or the
laugh.
best is when like they call like in a comedy movie they'll call out like the format. Like they'll just say like, isn't this exactly like that movie or something? Like,
I
isn't
love
that like a little bit of a meta feel? Community does that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes they'll call out some characters on their certain traits
Yeah.
and just completely like just point out how this is a complete cliche in some instances.
I also like sometimes when you break the fourth wall. Sometimes
Yeah.
though, because if you break the fourth wall badly, then it's
or too often.
too often.
Yeah.
Then it's like my teacher would always say this situation, like, it's like a joke. If you do a bad joke, then no one laughs. But if it's a good joke, then it's good. He'd always use this example for similarities, but it kind of is the same thing when you break the fourth wall. If you do it well, it's funny. If you do it badly, you're stupid.
Yeah. See, I think one of the funny things, like, with, like, you know, it's kind of self-referential things like that. And there are cases which, yeah, like you said, going over, like, She-Hulk had her own comic series, and she would constantly break the fourth wall. Like, literally, she is talking to you even though there's no one responding.
See,
And-
Deadpool does that, but Deadpool does it
But
cleverly.
but Deadpool's insane. So
Yeah,
you can let him have that, right? She-Hulk is clearly not insane. She's just trying to make it comedic. Like, here, let me point out a good version of that. How it should have ended. They do awesome videos, and one of them was how Iron Man 3 should have ended. And there's this, you know, there's the point where Tony's tied up to the bed frame, and whoever the bad guy is, the real Mandarin, what's his name again? I don't know. He's some dude. Anyways, so he's just like, wow. This is, and then in the How It Should Have Ended, Tony's like, wow, this is exactly the plot of The Incredibles. He's like, what are you talking about? No, it isn't. He's just like, well, when we were younger, we met. You liked me and you aspired to do something like me, but I shot you down, so you grew rich and powerful over the time, and then you kidnapped me. And he's just like, and then he's like, your syndrome, I'm Mr. Incredible. It's like, that's not the case at all. And then Iron Man's like, well, no, it's like, listen again. I even have a black friend who helps me fight crime who has a super suit. Holy shit, this is The Incredibles. Like, that made me laugh so hard because it's like, wow, that's true. It's the same thing.
Yeah, another really good.
Can I bring up, before you do that? Can I bring up a bad example? It's kind of a weird one to bring up, but Dora. Dora's a bad example of breaking the fourth wall.
But that's not in comedy.
I know, but it's an example of how you break the fourth wall too often.
But that was with the purpose of actually, it's not meant for people our age.
Yeah,
it's meant for kids who don't talk to, like, can't have conversations with people.
Yeah.
So it's someone initiating a conversation,
No,
trying to get the communication skills going.
That's child integration program. You can't hate on that.
Don't bring that up. That doesn't apply to the
That's
situation.
literally irrelevant. Sorry.
Well, in the situation of like my little brothers, they watch that, and I'm just like, it breaks the fourth wall so much.
It's not meant for you.
I know.
But you realize actually a lot of Dora
Yeah.
It's not actually breaking the fourth wall because most of the viewpoints, it's usually supposed to be from you as a point of view, as literally you coming to
true.
help me, and then you're running along with Dora. She's not talking through the
point
TV.
of view. It's a point of view TV.
Oh,
TV show.
okay.
It's meant to be a communication.
Yeah,
like a
it's to
communication
teach
skills
kids
builder.
how to talk to Spanish girls.
It's how to talk to people.
Yeah. Okay.
I bring up communication points and all that. But back on topic.
Yeah.
Comedy. I love Anchorman. That movie is hilarious.
I want to see that. I've heard about it so
I've
bad.
heard about it
best
a lot.
best thing is, like this is what makes it hilarious. It puts all these these probably the main 4 characters and a few other characters at certain points. They're so out of place in like it seems at first like that they're at the top of everything, but you just realize how out of place they are in every situation.
Yeah.
Like if they're not surrounded by the people who work with them or who are their rivals, they are like just gone. Like they don't know what they're doing at all. It's hilarious. Just the juxtaposition between what they think they are and what they actually are.
On a really, really off tangent that I just thought of now.
No boy.
Can't wait. Isaac, did you hear about I think it was Mirror's Edge 2?
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, just wanted to bring that up.
We already brought that up.
We brought that up during
The other podcast.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
see any of them.
I remember we brought this up during Mario Party, but I wasn't
We brought
sure if
that
he
up.
was-
We also
brought
brought
that
it
up
up at the park.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
Anyways, yeah, if you haven't heard already, Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah.
Wait,
And,
is it?
it's
Official.
announced.
It's official.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
I really just hope I'm positive someone's going to do something with the Oculus though.
Oh yeah, someone's gonna mod it.
Guaranteed.
Someo's gonna mod it.
Someone's
And
gonna
be
mod
great.
it for the
It's
Oculus,
gonna be so
and you're
great.
gonna be like, jump, parkour, parkour.
I'm the
Ah!
best.
You know what they need to do, and that they need to add a multiplayer mode that you can
Yeah.
do with the Oculus,
Mhm.
and then you can
Race.
do that. Take my money right now.
You have
Shut
no
up and
idea.
take my money.
When I played Mirror's Edge, I just instantly went, I want multiplayer. Like, this is
Yeah.
made by DICE, who makes great multiplayer games. Why isn't there multiplayer for this? You have parkour, and you have guns. You can use guns. I didn't because I wanted that achievement. 80 gamer score, it's irresistible. But you can pick up a gun, and you can...
score.
Yes, I'm on the Xbox. I don't have a PC. I can't do that. And I didn't have a PS3 at that point.
Achievement whore.
No, it was also a challenge trying to play through the entire game without you firing
Yeah, I know
a
it
single
is.
bullet.
It is hard. You at least played the game. It's hard to use without a gun.
Well, yeah.
It takes patience. That's the thing. Or like retrying a few stages.
Because I don't know. It like some of the parts it seems like you have to have a gun.
Yeah.
Like you have like the
There
first
were-
person you see, you have to disarm them and then shoot the other guys. Like it just seems odd.
There were a few segments when I thought like I actually had to like try them 10 times because I'm like, there are 5 guys right there and they're gonna surround me as I come out of like this hole here. So like I actually had to like run around in circles until like I isolated one guy and then knock him out and then do that like 4 more times to isolate each person and knock them out. But back to what I was saying.
Yeah, sorry.
If you put multiplayer in, like you have the parkour, you have the melee and the pistols,
Yeah.
and any other types of weapons.
Yeah,
like
the
snipers.
FPS aspect.
Yeah, you have the FPS aspect.
What they have to do is make it more open world,
Yeah.
and you literally have an
Or
amazing game.
even
Yeah.
like just box off 4 like roofs of skyscrapers.
Yeah, you can have a PvP. You can have a cooperative. You can have a cooperative because you know, it'd be amazing for parkour as well. A baton pass essentially, a relay.
That
because,
would be sick.
because that's actually a
Yeah.
lot of things that they
The
do.
bag
they,
runs, yeah.
that they do that they like separate. Like they're
Yeah.
passing things between each other as a network. It'd be cool if you do that with a partner. You could have like then you could also have PvP bag runs. We have teams where you're trying to get stuff across a couple rooftops, or you just have a complete PvP, or you have ones where you can a full co-op campaign. Any of those, and all of them, the best would be
Put
all
them
of
into one game. Make it happen.
Like
Co-op storyline. That's
a co-op storyline would be amazing. But even if they had like the PvP or the baton pass, that would still be amazing.
I think the thing that for me that this is making me think of is when Portal 2 had the co-op. It's like it was like Portal 1 was great, but then like Portal 2 with the co-op idea, it created the whole concept of you having to like really work together in that sense.
And then
I
with a
think-
level design that you could do for single player or co-op.
Yeah.
which was awesome.
And if they do that in Mirror's Edge as well,
Level design in
If
Mirror's
it-
Edge.
I haven't done it because I'm on a Mac and I don't have any RAM. I have 3 gigs of RAM. It's slow as molasses to do anything on my computer.
Molasses moving uphill in January. With crutches. You're slower than molasses moving uphill in January with crutches. There we go.
Are you sure not to January again?
January.
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 Okay,
January.
we gotta remix that.
Yeah, someone's totally gonna do that.
Dubstep remix, please.
No, don't.
Put it on a
No.
Paradoxologist.
Not everything has to be a dubstep remix of everything.
January.
Biggest misconception of everything dubstep is that, hey, you got a dubstep remix that not enough wubs, yo. Whoa, swag. That bass drop was tight, yo. No, shut up. You don't know what dubstep is. Stop talking to yourself. Stop it. Stop it.
He's talking to you.
I'm talking to you.
He's talking to you.
You're looking at
talking to
me.
me?
No, I'm
Are
not talking.
you talking to me?
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to that guy who just said swag, and he's laughing at me right now. But we all know that he's the real idiot at the end of the day, or she. I can't tell through this
I'm not
microphone. It has terrible visual. I can barely see through this thing. But I know there's a person there, multiple people, who think that everything needs a dubstep remix. I'm looking at you.
So someone has to dubstep remix this podcast.
The entire thing.
No, just that segment where Avery's saying you don't need to dubstep everything.
That'll be awful though.
I'm
You
gonna
don't
do
gotta
that.
dubstep remix every. Oh, that was. Don't do that.
And now we're gonna remix that.
Prior.
remix a remix.
I'm not going to do that though.
It's funny
I'll do
because
it, don't worry.
I don't trust you with dubstep. You'll call it dubstep, but it won't be that.
I know.
I was
It'll
actually
be
talking.
like-
Your
Really
pathetic
chop.
term at like electro is like.
I just wanted to do like electronic, but I'm just like, this is way too loose. Let's try to shorten that a little bit.
It's funny because I was talking to Daryl about how like I walked to the beat of music, and then I brought up how like for instance dubstep has a faster pace, and then he thought like when you walk to dubstep, like you're walking really long, slow steps, and then like the bass comes and you're walking a little bit faster. And then it's like it goes boom, 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 and you like walk really fast in the
Yeah.
spot.
See, the thing is, there's no tempo change with dubstep because it's dance music. You're supposed to dance to it.
Yeah, and like that concept for me is like it's easy to walk to, and that's my walking pace. Because we were talking about walking paces at the time on the way home from school on Friday.
You walk to dubstep? I walk to electro because
Like,
electro's
dubstep-
Dubstep, electro, or dance. Like one.
If you're walking to dubstep, that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2,
Yeah, that's
3,
really fast.
4. It's 140.
It's 140
BPM.
BPM.
I would do.
That's
like,
not
instead of
walking.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
you're
4,
walking
I'd
in
do 1, 3, 1, 3, 1,
Yeah.
3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3.
Well, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3,
Yeah.
1,
That's what that's for instance that would
That's
be a
fast
walking.
walking.
Yeah.
1, 3. I don't know. It's a,
No, you're going 1,
Yeah.
3, 1, 3. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's a bit
Yeah,
of a fast
I have like I can like because of between you and my mom when I was growing up I have a faster walking pace. Anyways, I think we have one more topic before we wrap this up, right?
yeah, we got like 12 minutes left before
Okay.
we hit the hour 20 mark.
But you know when you're usually walking to that kind of tempo, I don't think you really notice.
You don't really notice, but you get tired kind of faster. Last topic, or do you have another one, or?
I have one, but it's fairly serious.
So we might as well save that for like next time.
Okay.
then.
we'll save it
that
next
for
time.
when.
So anyone have any passing remarks? We can finish. This can be a shorter podcast. It's not
actually, I
we
want
had
to
the
bring
last
one
be
thing
like
up.
50, so.
Yeah.
I want to bring up potential live streams for the future. Obviously, this is not something in the direct line of sight, but now that summer's here, maybe we could do something in August. Like I can probably host a live stream if you guys are interested in doing that.
Yeah, live
also,
stream, we'll get a Twitch
also,
account,
if there's
I
any
suppose.
games that you want me to live stream, I can probably try doing that.
YouTube live stream or Twitch account?
Either or. I have a Twitch account that we can work with.
Okay, because Twitch might be a little. I'm not hating on YouTube live streaming, but it's just I kind of veered more towards the website that was made for live streaming. Than
Yeah,
one that just added it in as a feature.
Actually, I made a Twitch account that's a Clips Trooper, so I can make one for Supreme Awesome
Yeah.
Show, but I
Yeah,
made
you
that as
definitely
my
should.
personal account, just so because I didn't want to I wasn't even thinking of live streaming at the time. I just
Yeah,
made it
just,
so that
just
I
make one for the Supreme Awesome Show.
yeah I can do that.
and then
So if
we can share that account with
Yeah.
anyone else in the show, which we mentioned at the beginning.
if
Okay?
you're actually listening
If
to the
you're actually
podcast.
listening, we'll also give them the account
Yeah,
details.
so
they can live stream
so
it.
if you guys are interested in live streams, any live stream ideas or anything in general, like I'm still open to stuff. And now that the summer's here, yes, I'm gonna be fairly busy in July, but I still have August where I'm gonna be doing nothing. So please let me know if you have any games or anything in general that you want me to throw out there.
Is that
I
it?
think that's
I
all.
didn't plug myself in here.
Self plug.
Yeah.
Well, you'll
Subscribe to Supreme Awesome Show.
your channel will be in the description and all that stuff. I don't know. Channel.
No one reads the description. Though.
Wait, you're getting how many subscribers are you at now? You're at like
I'm
what?
like 29.
29.
Well, I have 8, so
I think Isaac wins in the race
You're
to
already
nothing.
doing better. So
Yeah.
I had the annoying part is that I have to upload through YouTube now because my Windows Movie Maker is not working.
Windows
It's
Movie
so,
Maker.
It's so slow though. It's so slow doing it through YouTube.
I used to do it through YouTube, but then I stopped and I started I export to QuickTime and then I would upload. It's faster for me.
I was uploading to exporting to QuickTime with the vlog that I did.
Yeah.
Plug my channel. It's a vlog of me hanging out with Dylan and Avery. It's pretty great.
On Saturday, because Friday.
Yeah, I have a
yes.
little bit of a behind the scenes of. I'm guessing it's gonna be the previous podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna. Can you try to upload the other one before this?
What the
Yeah, the
I,
party one.
I don't have
Birthday
I don't have the audio for that. You have to send me the audio.
Right. Oh, no.
Dropbox the audio.
Yeah. Okay. So I can do that. Or next time we do something together, I can.
We'll
give
try
you-
to do it sooner than
Please.
later.
Yeah, so I can get that up soon.
Yeah. I just have to get it from my mom because it was on her mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like there should be a way to upload it pretty
Yeah.
quickly. But also, yeah. So there's behind the scenes of that. It's also just how quirky these guys are in real life.
Oh.
This isn't real life. Is this the real life?
I mean, when there isn't a microphone in front of them.
Or just fantasy? Caught in a landslide to escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I have no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low, hit me with a window.
Looking outside, who's there at the window? Just my spirit looking back at you again. Frozen in time, sun killing the first snow.